guys, it's Callie, your big sister MD. I'm a medical student from the States studying in Spain, currently on a gap year. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all of you that have written me and told me that you got accepted into medical school this semester. Just huge round of applause for you guys. Just absolutely amazing. Well done. Congratulations. And I've gotten a couple messages talking about sort of what advice would I give to somebody that is starting medical school this semester, this coming September. What if I could go back and do it again, what would I do differently? All that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, the thing that I would do is enjoy the summer. And I mean that very, very seriously. When I tell you that this coming medical school marathon that you're going to have is truly never ending and you're going to be so exhausted. So really take this time to rest and recover from the schooling that you've been doing, whether you've been on a gap year or you've just gotten out of high school or your undergrad, whatever it is, you've been studying for a very long time. And it's really important that you take this time to truly relax, just recharge your batteries, see your friends, see your family, go out, have fun, go party, do whatever you want to do if you're of age, of course. But really make sure that you enjoy the summer to the fullest because this is truly one of the last summers that you're going to have of just no responsibility, being able to relax, and there's really nothing that you can do to get yourself ahead this summer. Like, you've already gotten accepted into medical school, so just relax, just rest, restore, relax, rehydrate, recharge, do all the things. As for September, I would say a couple of things. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is note taking. So this is something that is truly, truly so important. Okay, like you're not prepared for the speed and the accuracy that medical school professors are going to have. They go at lightning speed and they're talking about some of the most complicated and in-depth, very just nitty-gritty concepts that you can think of, which is the human body. It's very intricate. So when they're going through all these very intricate details, they're going really fast and you're going to have a textbook for reference. And a lot of people sell notes, like notes that had been taken from the year before. They often end up selling them. And I would recommend go to school with your textbook, but do not buy other people's notes, not the first year. Other previous years, you can do that. But I would say the first year, you really need to learn how to take notes. So this year, in your first year, your professors are going to be more lenient. At least mine were with us. They were more lenient, understanding that, we weren't used to the speed and the accuracy that we had with other professors. There's not a lot of filler that they put in. Like, pretty much everything that they talk about is something that's going to be on the exam. So it's all stuff that you need to know, which is really overwhelming to think about. Like the amount of chapters, the amount of information, the amount of sentences that you have to learn, the amount of concepts, and the very short amount of time that you have to learn it. So I would recommend learning your own shorthand. Like I learned in first year that if I put an E in a circle around it, that means enzyme. Or if I put IMP, that's important. Or if I put a little star or whatever. So I made my own little shorthand with myself so that I could go back and look through my notes and not spell out the entire word. Stuff like that. Words that come up really frequently, learn how to abbreviate them, learn how to make a little symbol or something that, you can like look back on later and understand that that's what that means. As for anatomy, if you do have anatomy your first or second semester, anatomy is a different beast. Anatomy is very visual and very conceptual. So I would not recommend using note taking. Just put the pencil down. Put the pencil down. I know that you're going to be tempted to take notes and you're going to want to put ligament X connects to ligament Y and bone X connects to bone Y and blah, 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 and write that stuff out. But when I tell you that this information has been written for thousands of years, it's not changing, and it's something that you can look up anywhere, I really mean that. So take your netter, take your Grey's Anatomy book to class with you every day, take sticky notes, take little tabs with you, and take highlighters. And what you're going to do in anatomy that's different from every other class is you're going to study it purely out of the book. And if you're more of like a word person, if you're more of a reader, I would recommend leaning more towards the Grey's Anatomy book. If you're more of a visual person like I am, I'm very conceptual and very visual. I pretty much exclusively used my netter book And what I would do is there's no text in that book. It's all images and it has all the labeling of all the muscles, ligaments, bones, all that kind of stuff. So what you're going to want to do is put a sticky note and write down, what does the teacher talk about on this page? The teacher says it's really important to know that the diaphragm has, this many holes for this many the artery, vein, whatever. I don't even remember what goes through the diaphragm anymore. But I remember that was important, and we needed to know all the structures. We needed to know the ligaments that were crossing over the diaphragm. So I would highlight them, and then on a sticky note, I would say, make sure that you really understand this, that, the other thing. And then I would put that on that page so that when I was flipping through my netter later, I would remember, oh yeah, okay, the professor said that this is important. So you're not taking notes per se, but you are annotating what's important, what's going to be on the test, because you will kind of get a sense, maybe not in September, but by November, you'll kind of know what your professor means when they're talking, what they're saying that this is really important, or this is just general knowledge, or this is for sure going to be on the test. Like, you're going to be able to suss that stuff out more towards November. Now, let's talk about something that nobody wants to talk about, and that's failing. Failing is necessary. Failing is uncomfortable. Failing is going to happen. You're going to fail. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, probably closer to 50 times your first year. You're going to fail in lab. You're going to have experiments that don't go well. You're going to fail taking notes. You're going to fail exams. You're going to fail quizzes. You're going to fail yourself. You're going to fail your own expectations. There's going to be a lot of failure happening in your first year. And it's really important that you learn how to deal with that failure from the first year. Because if you can get a sort of tolerance for failure, I mean, nobody likes it. I'm not like, oh, yay, I failed. But at this point, I know how to tolerate it. It doesn't affect my self-esteem, because it really did the first couple of years. It really affected my self-esteem. And if you're anything like me, you've been a perfectionist, you've been an overachiever, you've been an amazing student, you didn't have to work that hard in school. I didn't really have to study that much. And so I went from this American system that, granted, is a lot more easy, but I went from not being that challenged academically to being extraordinarily challenged in a way that I didn't even comprehend. And I didn't know how to fail. It was completely and utterly affecting my self-confidence, my self-image, and I didn't know what to do about that. And so I took it really personally. You don't have to. I'm telling you this now so that you don't have to take it personally, and you can understand that failing is part of the process. Failing is part of medicine, okay? We wouldn't have insulin if we hadn't failed. We wouldn't have, most of the drugs that we have if we hadn't had failures. And all of the best medical staff have failed major things in their lives. They've failed many, many times. So the important thing to know is that you're not the only person that's failing. Everybody's failing. Look around you. Make sure that you understand that even if somebody's passing all their exams on the first time, they maybe are failing something else that you're not knowing about behind the scenes. So it's not just you. And it's really important to note that you need to learn this concept of failing forward. So you might fail an exam. Well, you're probably definitely going to fail an exam, or fail your own expectations of an exam for sure. But the important thing is to learn how to fail forward. So go back and look at your exam and learn. What did you get wrong on this exam? What concepts did you not understand? How can you study differently? How can you learn this information in a different way so that the next time that you take this exam, or the next time that you're confronted with this information, that you know how to, go at it correctly. So that's a really important concept. Learn how to fail forward. I really hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you need to talk to somebody before you start medical school or throughout your medical school journey, please feel free to reach out, send me a comment, or write me a DM. I'm always here for you guys. I love to hear from you. Bye, guys.